anyone else come in as well. It's just 4 minutes in. Just to let you guys know a little bit about what we're doing today, this is the Field Technician Management custom work order for faster growth through customization and how Method can solve different industries. This whole initiative is actually Method Solves. This is something that I started on LinkedIn, and then now we have the actual live session for it. So basically what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be dissecting different verticals that Method actually solves for. As you guys know, we're not a horizontal solution, we're more vertical. So think about, CRM solutions, think about like lead management, emails, all that kind of stuff. We're also covering that, not in this session, but just in general, Method also solves for. Field services, things that we're doing today. Those are also another industry and another vertical that Method solves for. We also have proposals for more like IT professionals, think about recurring invoices and things like that. We also solve for things of that nature. We also solve for donor and donations as well. So if you are a nonprofit, we have clients in charities and stuff like that, that's also something we solve for. But all in all, not only out of the box, but we're also able to customize Method to meet each industry. And that's what the power of Method is. So hopefully in these type of sessions, this is the first of many. So if you guys have any questions on how we can make this better, or just any tips and tricks that you have, please let us know. Like I said, this is our first one, but hopefully we're going to have this every month where we're able to dissect each industry, go through some of the real world challenges that they're facing in this industry. And then we're going to go through custom solutions. We're going to go through the out of box features that Method also solves for. And then we're going to go through the actual custom ways that Method could solve for. Just a little teaser in today's session, I have 4 stories to tell you guys. From all 4, 3 of them actually Method is able to solve for out of the box, but one of them we're able to meet. We were able to meet them about 80% of the way, but then we have to customize to make that happen, which Yusuf is going to take us through. At the end, we have discussions and Q&A. Like I said, if you are a customizing and implementing partner, and let's say you're stuck on any customizations, this is also another place for you to come in to share what your problems are, what issues you're facing as you're building these custom work orders or anything that you're working on, and we're able to decode and debug with you. All right, so I kind of already explained what Method Solves is, but just to re-explain, it is a live session where we're able to find solutions together. This is about real industries facing real challenges, and then we're gonna match them with exact solutions Method is able to solve. And it's no brainer, of course, Method is not built to solve everything. Method is able to take you maybe 80% of the way through its out of the box, but our customizable feature, which Method is able to be fully customizable, that's really our bread and butter, and that's where Yusuf is going to come in to really show us how we're able to solve these. And through this initiative, right now it is me, Errol, and Yusuf doing this. Yusuf is a partner of ours and also been a Method expert for 6 years working in the professional services team, which I also was a part of. But let's say you are an implementing partner with a high degree in knowing how to customize, please let us know as well. You're able to join this panelist and just go through different things you also are able to solve through Method. But yes, like I said, this is our first one. So if you have any questions or any tips and tricks on how to make this better, please let me know, because I hope this could be a great initiative that we can take on and do even bigger. All right, so I have 4 stories to share with you guys here with different companies that are facing different issues. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to mention all the 3, I'm going to go through all the 4 stories, and then we're going to go through the 4 solutions with Errol. But let's say that is a little bit harder for next time, and we want to go from one solution to one challenge to one solution, one challenge to one solution, then we can also make that happen for next time. But for now, we'll go through the challenges and then go through the matching solutions. All right, so first up, so we have scheduling chaos and missed appointments. So this one is Blue Wave Plumbing, a company with 20 technicians on the move every day. Their dispatch team was overwhelmed juggling manual job assignments, and it was not long until they spiraled into chaos. Techs would miss appointments, show up late, or even show up at the wrong location. Because there's no real-time updates, the staff is not able to know what's going on, and they're not able to do their job properly. They're doing things that are taking more time to correct their errors instead of actually doing the job and growing. So that's what's hindering them from growth. And we have the second one, which is frost air. And their real issue was just communication breakdowns from the field crew and the office. And when I say office, I mean more of like the dispatcher. So like I said, their real issue was communication. Their field techs were working hard, but they couldn't update job statuses in real time. The office team had no clue which jobs were done, which were in progress, and who was even available for the next emergency that they should go on. The results were delayed responses, frustrated customers, and field techs were left feeling disconnected for the rest of the team. Another issue. Now, two more. The third one is no collaboration on multiple tech jobs. And like I said earlier, that's one thing that Method is actually not able to solve out of the box, but we have some things that we can solve for that. And then Yusuf, like I said, is going to show us what that custom solution is going to look like. So now we're going to go through Solar Pro. They often had large projects that required multiple technicians working together. But the problem was they wouldn't be able to collaborate on a single work order. Each technician was filling out their own paperwork and trying to piece everything together that would take days. The lack of a unified work order meant critical details were missed, projects were delayed, and it was a nightmare to manage from start to finish. I really feel bad for the dispatchers because I bet it's their problem after. Like I said, this one we're not able to do multiple in one work order, but what we are able to do is ditch the paperwork. So Errol will show us a little bit. And then on manual data entry and workflow delays. So this one is Green Earth Landscaping, who faced different challenges. Their field techs were still submitting job sheets by hand, nightmare, leaving the back of office team to manually input all the data. Like I said, it's always the back of the office, always the dispatchers have to do it. So they had to do it all in manual processes. This outdated system led to errors and slowed down the entire invoicing processes. Like I said, if they're writing it down, then passing it to the dispatcher, and then the dispatcher is manually inputting it and typing it into QuickBooks or Xero, whatever they're working through, that's like 3-4 touch points. So errors could happen anywhere in between there. Anyways, so this delayed billing and a lot of wasted on correcting mistakes. And the theme here is all of them are wasting time on correcting mistakes rather than growing. And that's what we're trying to solve here. It became clear that this workflow was inefficient and it was holding back the company from growing. So I'm just going to go through these really, really quickly just so you guys remember the problems they all faced. So the first one was Blue Wave, manual job assignments, text missing appointments, no real-time updates and scheduling, and hours wasted on rescheduling. Number 2, we had Frost Air. They were going through field techs unable to update job statuses in real time. They had office staff not having visibility on the technicians that they had, and delayed responses in emergencies, right? Which is, of course, a nightmare. And frustrated customers because they feel disconnected to the actual technician. The last two, like I said, multiple technicians needing to work on the same work order. That one we're not fully able to solve, but we'll see. And then each tech completing separate paperwork, which resulted in the back of the office putting everything together and making sure that they're correct. And delays in inputting job details causing project slowdowns. And last but not least, for the last one, we had manual data entry and workflow delays, field tech submitting jobs sheets by hand, a lot of manual stuff. Back of the office staff manually inputting the data, leading to errors because that's multiple touch points before actually inputting the actual data. And then delays in invoicing and billing. And last but not least, slowed cash flow because it was holding back the company's growth. So these are the 4 issues that are going on, and these are how Method can solve it through out-of-the-box features. I will stop yapping and I will let Errol take over so he can actually walk us through what these solutions would look like in Method live.
Great. Thank you so much, Yemi. Hello, everyone. My name is Errol. I do recognize the majority of the names here. Some of you may remember me. Some of you may not want to remember me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I will figure out how to make myself a presenter. And then let me share. There we go. Let's show my share, show my main screen. Okay, this is it. Huzzah. Okay, there we go. I think I got everything
Perfect.
working. Now, what I have on my left over here, the larger 2/3 of the screen is what it looks like in Method if you are a dispatcher, if you're in the office and you are going to create work orders for people on the field, in the field. And that's what this over here is. This is for people in the field. And this is actually a cast of my phone. So I have the Method app on my phone. And so I've tried my best to mute all the notifications that might come in, but you never know. So I apologize if all of a sudden, and it's not going to be crazy. I get really boring texts and notifications, so I'm not worried about it, but hopefully it won't interrupt my little demo here. So for those of you that aren't familiar with field services, normally you may have a dispatcher, someone that is one or more people that are going to create work orders for people on the field to go through. So if I'm over here and let's say I'm going to create a brand new work order, I'm not too sure. Let's go ahead and make one for Blue Jet Airways. Do they have a, yeah, they have even a, they have an address. I'm trying to make sure I find a person that actually has an address and everything filled in. And of course, you can see here that if you need to add anything like a mobile number, this is going to be important. For example, if you want to communicate with them over a mobile device, over a phone, text, DMs. I don't know what the young people call it now, but I'm always being corrected by my children. So hopefully, if I'm saying things wrong, you can correct me too. I'm used to it. Anyway, so we're going to create something for Blue Jet Airways. Let's go ahead and I don't know, general repairs for them. There are now just to let you know, and I just found out, well, I didn't just find out, but there is going to be a release tomorrow that is going to update field services. And so it's going to look slightly different as of tomorrow. What it does is that it's going to improve the communications in the back end, allow you to, yeah, I will update the help center, so you'll see all those updates by tomorrow. But you'll be able to find there are a number of updates. Like I do know, for example, that this is going to be made a little bit clearer on what happens and some other notifications in the back end that you can turn on and off. But the front end looks pretty much the same. It's just the back end, it's just a bit more cleaner when it comes to notifications and communications between the dispatcher and the field crew. So let me go ahead and finish this off. What is today? October 1st. Oh yeah, it's today. And I'll just put this into, I don't know, not scheduled. And we're done. Great. Let me just go ahead and save that and back that. Now I've only created one work order. You may have a number of them that you're going to sign out. For now, I'm just going to stick with my one. I'm going to go over to the calendar. And what is today? Is this Monday the 31st? Let's go to October as well. And let's go and add in this general repairs for Mary. I'm going to do it for Mary. Let's move it in at 2 o'clock. Huzzah. And then there we go. So now Mary has a work order that's for her at 2 o'clock. Now, when it gets closer to the time, she will get notified on her phone over here, but it's not close to the time at all. So just assume that it's close to the time and she does get notified about that. She'll also get notified, I think, in an email that they are getting things. But let's say it's close to the time. Oops, I can't click on this. So as I said, this is a cast on my phone. I wonder if this would work. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, let me just, and so it's going to look like I'm going to be on my phone on TikTok or something. I'm not. I'm actually on the Method. There we go. Okay, there he is, and I can't use my mouse. So here I am on the right. I'm as Mary on the field crew, and I'm going to go and open up my general repairs. And for those of you not familiar with it, we have over here, this will allow you to bring up the map on your phone, whatever map app you have. This will allow you to DM them or send a SMS towards them. And if I click on here, I'll make a phone call. Now, since this is my real phone, I'm not going to do any of those because I'm going to get charged. But let me go ahead and also start the timer if I'm there. And then I can just start working. And as you can see, it moves to in progress. Now, there's a number of things that I can also do. Maybe for some reason, let's say I want to add more items because more things are happening. I can put in some memos. Another thing I can also do is I can create a note. Maybe I want to send it to the dispatcher. Hello, right? And when I send that off, they will get a notification in their email. And oh, look, it even just says Mary has added a new note. Notice there that it's updated. So this phone, that was a little bit confusing because this phone is also being used as a dispatcher phone because I only have one phone. So I will get notified as a dispatcher, not only on email, but also in my Method app that I got a note. And so that's really exciting. Let me go over here and let's update this thing. It's off the screen. And I can go and take a look at this note over here. Oh, hello. And then maybe they're just lonely and they want to say hello to me. Hopefully not. Hopefully they're sending me important things. Um, but now get to work. Okay, so I'm going to send them off to a note. And as I send these notes back and forth, ta-da, notice I have received a new note from me. So as you can see, we have this instant communication between dispatcher and also the field crew work member as well. And of course, you can talk to each other however you want, but that's what Method allows, has these push notifications so you can talk back and forth. And now, whoops, darn it, I gotta remember I'm back on my phone. And now, of course, when I am done, let's go back here and close this off. I will stop the timer and let's just mark it as complete. Now I can also capture, so I'm gonna mark it as complete. If need be, I can capture a signature from Mary. I can pass the phone to them. They can draw, hi, their signature, also draw a bunny. And then we're gonna add that and we're all good to go. All right, so I've completed it. I've captured a signature from our client. They've accepted it and we're all ready and good. Okay. Oh, wait, I got to do that. Accept the terms and work conditions. Try that again. Notice that I just clicked OK without even reading what the notification said. Yes, yes, I am just like every other customer. Okay, here we are. Now we're done. Now back at home, let's say I go here and I'm back as the dispatcher. There are a number of things that I can do. It's green, saying that it's done. And I'm also able to, I'm going to just show for this month as well, what I can do at the end of the term. Hello, let me do this week. Oh, let me do all time. Why can't I see everything? There we go. Not all time. Why didn't it show you for this month? Oh, right. I'm sorry. This month is like October. No wonder this next month all time. Anyway, so what I can do from here as well, now that I've had all of these ones that are completed, let's go over to all work orders, completed work orders. Now let's do this week. Mm -hmm. And here we are. These are the ones that are completed this week. And what I can do is I can select them all. I can go over to batch actions and I can invoice the selected ones. And then it will split it between 1, 2, 3. I have 3 different people, so there'll be 3 different invoices. If, however, I have people that are the same, maybe I had 2 for Kevin Parker, then it would put all of that into one invoice. And then it will send it all off. Now, hopefully that makes sense. I'm creating all of my invoices. Yay, 3 invoices been created. And then I can just see all the invoices that were created for all of our work orders. Now, this was a very high level view of how field services works. Understandably, there'd be more to it. I actually didn't show you like how the routing worked, if we had a number of things, and there's more to field services, but hopefully you got a taste on how field services work and how that communication aspects happens in between. And then I'm going to hand it back to Yemi, but Yemi then will hand it over to Yusuf. We'll show how he customized the field work order and fields and work orders to fit the needs of his client.
Awesome. Thank you, Errol. Is there any questions for Errol about that, by the way?
I'm going to stop sharing my phone. That was very handy that nobody shared, on Facebook. Oh well. Okay.
I was gonna troll you and text you about escape rooms, but I was like, you know what? Let's keep it professional. Okay, perfect. Okay, so for the out of box solutions, I'm just gonna high level go through what Errol showed us. So we are able to have real-time scheduling and updates. We see that it turned green, even on the calendar to show you that it was completed. And also, of course, on the actual status, it will turn into complete or in progress or whatever it is that they're doing, making it easy for them to be able to reschedule, call someone for emergency, all that extra stuff. Instant communication between field and office. We also saw that with the little text message icon that we have on Errol's phone that he was so gracious enough to share and was not scared that someone would text him. And anyways, so with that, we were able to see that we are able to get instant communication between the field and office right on your phone on your Field Crew app, which is great. And then the centralized work order for a single tech. So we saw the whole workflow basically, but it's only for the single technician. Still teasing it for Yusuf's turn, but yes. And then last but not least, whatever it is that you're doing within Method, it will sync over to QuickBooks as for time tracking, as for the invoices, whether it's the batch or the single, it all syncs over to QuickBooks. So there's less touch points by humans happening. So it's not going to be the field crew giving you their notes, you trying to understand it, and then putting it into pen and paper or whatever the case is. That nightmare is now over. It would be the technician inputting their own notes onto their app, which the dispatcher would see automatically what they have wrote in their own words, which will sync over to QuickBooks. All right, if there are no questions, we're going to go through the custom-made solutions now. Now we're going to be solving what Method would look like if we had the multiple technicians in one work order. All right, Yusuf, I'm just going to make you presenter.
Thank you, Yemi.
Which I hope you see very soon. No problem, and I will stay quiet so you can go ahead. Awesome.
All right, great. Can everyone see my screen? Is it one screen or two screens? Because I want to make sure I'm only showing one.
One screen.
Just showing one.
Perfect.
Who knows what's on the other screen?
Yeah.
Traumatized.
All right. So, hey, everyone. My name is Yusuf. I'm work as a Method partner. My partner agency is called Crafting Clouds. I've been an employee at Method for about 6 years, where I've learned a ton of knowledge, and I've worked with magnificent people, with Errol as well as Yemi. I'm back, and my passion for Method grows, and I kind of wanted to share with you guys a solution I've been working on for one of my clients, where they asked me to build for them a work order that allows them to assign multiple of their field technicians. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my approach. I think that I want to just disclose this before we get into is that the solution is still very rough. So you're not going to see a polished solution today. You're just going to kind of get a good understanding of how I approached it. We may come across some errors and stuff like that, but for the purpose of today, I am really looking to spark inspiration for everyone on the call, as well as to get your feedback. I would love to learn from any of you on the call who have done something similar. I would love to hear your approach, and yeah, this is more of a sharing dialogue. I would love it to be a two-way conversation for this part of the call. So for this client, their specific use case, because as you know, every field services company is a little bit different. They have crews that are assigned to particular types of services that they offer. So this client is a general contractor, so they have a crew for plumbing, they have a crew for roofing, they have a crew for electrical, and it's usually made up of 2 or more guys in a truck that are going to perform that particular service at that particular customer, right? So they needed a way to be able to assign those guys to that particular service. So what I've done was, in the Field Crew app, if you click this ellipses icon, this is already out of the box in Method. There you have the preferences option here. And in this preferences area, I've added in a Field Crew section. So this is something that's completely net new, that's not available out of the box. But essentially what we're doing is I've enabled an option for them to allow for multiple members to be associated to a single work order inside of Method. So you'll see here, I've already set it up. You'll see these are users in Method. So right now you'll see Method support and myself. These are going to be the Field Crew techs in this example, and the services on the right. So these services are just some services I created, but essentially this is going to filter in any of the service items for that particular client, whatever service items they want to use. And essentially we're mapping these services to these particular field tech guys. Now, why do we do this? Well, I'll show you. We'll jump ahead to a work order that I've already prepared for this call. So this is a work order here. And in fact, let me just change the time for this. I'm going to set this to 5:45, and I'll also set this to October the 3rd, okay? And I'm going to hit save. So this more or less is the same type of work order that you would see out of the box as Errol showed you. I did do some tweaks here. The biggest one is I added a scheduling area at the very bottom that's highlighted down below. And this is essentially to be able to add multiple field crew members to this particular work order. Now you can go ahead and you can add them manually if you'd like, all right? But we're not gonna do that here. In fact, what we're gonna do is we're going to click this Assign Crew Members button. So if I click this Assign Crew Members button, let me just erase that one because that one's saved. You'll notice that it automatically assigned each particular crew member that was assigned to that particular service. So if we go to the field crew, just to kind of cross-reference, you'll see both myself and Method Support are assigned to both bathroom renovation and roofing install. Now, why did I do this? Because I don't expect the dispatcher to have to go into each one of their work orders and manually schedule one by one. It's better to always add everything, and then if they need to, they can remove. So they can say, okay, you know what, I don't need Method Support doing the method renovation for this job, so I'm gonna just remove them off of this. And it's always easier to remove than to start from scratch and add everything. So this was kind of a batch convenience feature just to save them a ton of time. So this hasn't created any work orders yet. And the reason why is because we haven't specified the start dates or end dates. So what I need to do to create the work order is I'm gonna go ahead and specify a start date and end date. I'm gonna say, okay, for the roofing install, we're gonna have it set to October the 2nd. And the time is important here because the calendar, the way it works is it expects both a start time and an end time. So I need to make sure that I'm specifying both. So as you can see here, I put October 2nd from 8:30 to 5:30. And I'm just gonna jump ahead here. And for the roofing install for Method Support, I will say that they're going in a day later. Why not? Let's see how that works out. And let's say they start at 7:45 and they end at 12:30. And then for the bathroom renovation, we're gonna do, let's do it the same day as the roofing install. Why not? We'll have Yusuf do both, the roofing install and the bathroom renovation in one day. Highly unlikely, but for the sake of this demonstration, we'll just do that. And then it ends 7:15. And then the bathroom renovation, we'll also do October 3rd here at 1:30, and then October 3rd here at 4 p.m. Okay, so I have all my time specified here. So now if I go ahead and I hit save, it's going to detect that there are work orders that are waiting to be generated because it sees that there are start dates and end dates being specified, but the work order has not been generated yet. So we're gonna click OK. And then you can see right away, it shows in the work order generate column a check mark, which basically means that work orders have been generated for this. And we can go and navigate to these particular work orders that were generated for our field crew guys. So what this essentially is doing is it's taking a copy of this work order and it's essentially assigning it as an additional work order in the system to our field crew team, okay? So if I go ahead and I view this, you'll notice now there's a work order here. It has both my roofing install and bathroom renovation assigned to this particular day. And the reason why is because we've assigned it to the same day, okay? So it's really up to the dispatcher to decide how they want this to work. But if they have two service items that are assigned to the same day, it's going to be assigned to the same work order for that field crew member. Now, for your particular customer, they may have a slightly different business rule. So, but this was what they wanted. So in here, this is essentially a copy of the work order in the Field Crew app for the field technician to review. Now they can go in and they can add in and ignore this. This is just a testing button that I have here, but they can go ahead and they can start the timer here. All right. And then when they're ready, they can say this is now finished. They can add a note and they can stop the timer. And there we go, it refreshes and they can go ahead and they can add another entry if they wanted to. So we can go back, all right? And let's say they're done this roofing install, they can go ahead and just click complete here. It's gonna go ahead and complete it. Now for this bathroom renovation, if I try completing this, it's going to stop me because there's no time tracking found. So you can't complete a service item that doesn't have any time tracking associated with it. As well as if we want to complete this entire work order that was assigned to me as a field crew tech, it will not allow me to complete it because it detects that there are service items that are not completed yet. So all of the service items below must be completed in order for the field crew tech to complete this entire work order. As you can see, I see my related time tracking entries generated below here. We don't see a duration here because as you saw, I started and I stopped the timer fairly instantly. And then going back to our dispatcher's work order. So I'm gonna go back to the work orders app. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna open up the work order. And in here, right, if I go ahead and I click the sync time tracking notes, right away it brings over those time tracking notes that I have based off of that field crew tech's work order. So that way the dispatcher doesn't have to navigate into each individual work order to see their notes. It'll automatically be brought into their master work order with a click of a button. Okay. The reason why I don't do this automatically, like if I want to put it on screen focus or whatnot, is because you can imagine there could be a ton of service items associated to a single job, and it could be it can get quite long and it could cause some performance issues when the dispatcher just wants to simply get into their work order and view it. Now finally, just to finish this off, what I want to show you as well is the field crew calendar. So what I did also is I filtered out, okay, actually it's supposed to filter this out, and again, this is a work in progress. This you shouldn't be able to see, but essentially for the field crew guys, they should only have the field crew work orders appear. For the dispatcher, when they go in their calendar, they should be able to see everything, including the field crew work orders. But I wanted to silo and separate out the dispatcher's work order from the field crew work order so that they're not confused and they know what to work on for the day. So that's essentially it. This was very high level. If there's any questions, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to share with you my insights, as well as I would really enjoy some feedback if you guys have also done something similar. I would love some pro tips on how I could potentially improve this. All right.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Yusuf. I had the pleasure to kind of have a sneak peek at this, so I wasn't as blown away, but I'm sure they're blown away because yesterday I was blown away. But if anybody has questions, please let us know. Yusuf is able to walk you through some of these. If you have questions on how he did this or how he did that or why he chose to do this, this is your time. But I do want to say David and Paulette are both saying this is amazing, this is huge, and they're loving it. If you do have clients, like the whole point of Method Solves is if you do have clients that are facing challenges, let's be honest, we're all facing some type of challenges. The goal is that you're listening to their pain points, and these type of conversation we're having here will give you the aha moment to say, oh, okay, this is where I get to introduce Method to my clients. And so if you have field crew technicians or field crew clients in your bag, right? And they have issues with, let's say, multiple tech orders or multiple technicians, or just in general any type of field technician type of issues, These are the type of solutions we have to offer, but we also have so much more. Working in the professional services team, I definitely had my hands on also customizing something similar to this, but I was sharing with Yusuf yesterday. It was different. It was a different type of workflow than this, but all is possible through customization is the point. All right. Anybody have any questions? I feel like I see Victoria's hand up, but I'm not sure if you're not able to unmute. I think you can unmute. Hey, Victoria, can you hear me? Hey, Victoria. Let's see. Okay, maybe not. Anybody else?
Hi, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. Hi,
All
Paulette.
right, perfect. Hi, everyone. So we've done something similar, but I think Yusuf's solution is better or more, maybe a little bit more comprehensive. But my question is, how can we, back in the Method Classic days, I think it was Matt Reisner and the bookkeeping, Victoria and Laura, they came up with apps, right? And that you could, there was an economy of scale because they created something, it was a solution, and other people didn't have to rewrite it. So with use of solution, how can that be incorporated, like for somebody, if we need it for a client, how can we do that rather than just having my developer sort of watch the recording and redevelop it? That's my question, really.
Uh, few ways. So Yusuf is actually a partner of ours, and he has his own consulting business. So to get this done through Yusuf, you can pay his services and get it done. Or the other way would be our other partners as well that are able to make these things come true, and also our internal staff. But besides that, because I know what you mean, like essentially instead of having to redo this again, how could I just like get it into my system all in one? We could try to figure out a way this works best, but I think right now would be contacting Yusuf to be able to do this.
And Paulette, I can also help out with there, just from like experience of working actually at Method. I think this is definitely something that's been on the roadmap for Method to try to implement just natively. I think the reason why it hasn't been done though is because there's so many different ways that you can solve this problem. And for Method to try to come up with like a boilerplate approach to this
Got it.
is
Yep,
going to be
and I
very,
agree.
very hard, right? So naturally, this would be more of a custom solution. And like with Matt Razor's app, I believe it was SaaSfault,
Right.
that was the solution that could have been applied to any asphalt company, right? So, but with field services, the degree of variability with how field services companies work is quite wide. So I think that's why it just hasn't been tackled. They could come up with something. Method doesn't cease to surprise me. So they could definitely come up with an out of the box solution that covers the wide range of different companies that it could solve for, but I don't have information on that, unfortunately.
No, I get it. But again, going back to the days of Classic, you were able to build teams. And so my question is really, or let's say food for thought, is really thinking about building some kind of a team generic that then other people can customize to the specifics of whatever the business is. That's really what so it's not really a question, it's just a thought.
That's a great suggestion. And I completely agree. I think you're right. I think that's more of the foundational issue, or not issue, maybe that's not the right word, but foundational challenge, right? And just to have that solved and then having us as partners build on top of that would save us a lot of time, for sure.
Exactly. Thank you.
And we do have some resources as well. I can share the help center with you all, but there's some resources where we have like let's say you have built out a solution for one of your clients or something like that, and you really love that solution and you want to again put it into other clients as well. We have something called the copy tool that we are able to utilize. The only thing is it would have to be for like let's say you had built it on for one of your referrals or one of your clients or one of your demo accounts, then you're able to repurpose it. So we have a few ways we can address that.
And we've used that a lot.
Okay,
But I guess I'm just saying, rather than just specifically from my firm, right?
Yeah.
If Method did something generic and then everybody could, particularly you're trying to get more partners, right? And get more partners to be able to sell. And, if you just have something that solves just the team thing. So I keep it very simple, right? It's just field service for team, a team that goes out in a truck, whether it's 2 people or 5 people or whatever. If you could try to just solve for that time tracking, then, the rest of it, then they have to hire Yusuf or us or somebody.
Agreed. And again, even we're having a whole session on multiple assignees or multiple technicians because it is really important and it is something that I feel like is a gap. So absolutely, Phil is also in this call. He's one of the product managers. We're gonna be pushing them to do these things that we think is also obviously helping the community as well. But yeah, great suggestion, Paulette. Victoria, I see that your mic is working now.
Yep. So I just wanted to, we've had to solve this multiple times, and I would put a plug in that I think this is something Method should figure out how to solve on a basic level. Out of all of our clients that do some sort of, whether they call it field service, some kind of work on a work order, whatever it is, we only have one that only has one technician at the same time. Everybody does teams. So we've had to solve this problem multiple times. Yosef, you might want to think about for those activities that you're kind of, that specialty that you have each individual assigned to.
Yeah.
If you, one thing that we've added is there's usually like an estimated duration. If you record that in the table along with the activity, it makes it a lot easier for the dispatcher because when they pull the start date, it automatically enters the end date. Because we found people really get frustrated with that, having to enter the start date and the end date thing. So of course, some jobs they have to adjust it, but it's just a little tiny detail that helps that a lot.
I really like that suggestion. In fact, I might even implement it myself. So thank you, Victoria.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
That's back from the Arrow days on Method.
Yeah.
Entering that estimated duration. So it just, for standardized jobs, especially, people have an expectation, or at least the dispatcher has an expectation of how long that should take.
Yeah, you're right, because even on the call, there was like a moment of silence where it took me a little bit just to put in the start times and end times. So that can definitely be improved for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, just a suggestion.
Thanks, Victoria.
Oh, we love suggestions, please.
I love it. Yeah. That's what I need. That's what I need. That's the whole point of this call, is to have a two-way dialogue, right? So it's great.
Yeah. Yep. And the
also
brainstorming's the fun part.
Yeah, the brainstorming is fun.
And also for the next live session, I would love to get any input that you guys have about what type of topics that you guys are facing and things like that. Because again, you guys actually talk to your clients and you know the problems that they're having. So if there's anything that you guys are hearing that Method does have a gap on, I would love to just look at the industry as a whole and then look at ways how Method can solve it like I showed today, and also get into the specifics of how we can actually solve it through customizations. And then if this isn't ask enough, again, I'm hoping that we can get into product, to get this into feature request, and to actually get these to be solved in real time as well. But yeah, any suggestions on other topics that you guys may have? I
Quick
was
question,
thinking,
sorry, by the
yeah, yeah.
way, is Nico or the field services team eventually coming on to the next partner update for I can't remember what the next partner update demos are going to be.
We do have one in October that will be a partner showcase though. So I feel like it might
Oh,
be in
okay.
November that we might have the field crew, Nico and them update us.
Yeah. I think I do know that they are discussing teams. I mean, that is something that does come up. I think it's yeah. So that is something that they are. I don't know how I mean,
Yeah,
Phil would know how much they're working on it, but it is something that does come up too.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Don't worry, guys. I'll be our spokesman. I'll be our spokesman for all of these type of things and putting in the feature request. And I'm sure this has already been a feature request for sure, but really voicing that this is something that's important in the partner community as well.
Can I ask a quick question for Joseph there?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So you said that you're separating work orders between dispatcher work orders and technician work orders.
Yeah.
How, on a technical side, are you doing that? Is it basically a series occurrence type setup essentially, or are you doing?
No. So I actually have like a junction table that I use. So in fact, I'll that scheduling table that you saw at the bottom of the work order at the very beginning?
Yep.
So I'm leveraging that table to basically show the relationship between the dispatcher's work order and the field crew guy's work order. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm just creating a duplicate work order with those items that were assigned to them.
And then so invoicing is done just off the dispatching work order because that's the point of truth, so to speak.
Exactly. The dispatch work order would be the one that would be invoiced, correct?
That seems like it solves a number of different problems in terms of teams having multiple vehicles. AC, sometimes they have multiple vehicles, so one tech can show up to help another one. Jobs that span multiple days, that seems promising. I like it.
Yeah. Another thing that I realized is that because I've set up the table in that particular way, you can also bring all the time tracking entries for all of the field crew technicians laddered up back into the dispatcher's work order. So that way they can see a report of everything, what was done around the job on one screen.
If you could shoot me an email, I'd love to hop on a call just you and nerd out on that a little bit.
I would love to. Yeah, for sure. I'll shoot you an email for sure.
I'll also be sharing Yusuf's contact information in the deck that I will be sending out, and also this recording if you guys want to reference back to it. And I would love if you guys can get hold of Yusuf, work through these things out. Again, if you have solutions also that you've worked on and they're killer solutions, please let me know. I would love to focus on those, like I said. But yes, I will share those information, but I'll start sharing my screen if we don't have any other questions. All right, I will share my screen. All right, so thank you, Yusuf, for showing us the multiple technicians in one work order. I will send this on, like I said, and then you're able to see what we talked about today, and then also get in contact with Yusuf. I have his website, his email, his direct line, whatever else needed in here, Yusuf, let me know, I'll put it in so they're able to email you and message you and get a hold of you. And then we have another little surprise, Errol. Okay, so just a little background story. We have something called Method Learns. I would love for Errol to actually explain, but it's a company-wide initiative that we all learn Method as if we're almost like the client, so we can see and feel the actual experience. But with that, he was gracious enough to extend something else also to our partner side. But yes, take it on, Errol. Explanation.
Yes,
Sorry, I'll still
sorry.
share my screen.
I forgot that I was doing this, to be honest. It's all
No.
good. No. So, yeah, well, just a little bit about Method Learns. It's not that big of a deal, but we wanted, PS people and the support people and the sales people, they know Method very well. But then we decided there are a lot of people that aren't any of those departments that never touch Method, even if they're developing for it. So we have a little learning module, learning LMS management system that I built in Method for everybody to go through learning how Method works. And I give them modules every month. And then what they have to do is that they record their screen, and then I watch them do the exercise that I give them to, and they don't have a pass or fail. It's more along to be familiar with how Method is. And now what we do is, because it's pretty much just almost like user experience, and I watch all the videos, then I share that with all the PMs and tell people, for example, why isn't there an end date automatically given when you put a start date for an activity? That comes up also all the time. So I do know that they are planning on updating activities eventually. They are going to take a look at how to make that flow better. And it all comes down how to make flows better. Anyway, one of the things that I did is I finally got around to updating learning how to customize for beginners. So I think the majority of the people here are like expert customizers. So you won't need it. But if anybody is brand new to customization and they don't really have a background in, like, customizing at all, what I tried, it's a lot. There are 20 videos out there. So taken over for the last missions that used to be there. If you could search for customization, learning customization, or customization learning, whatever you want to name it. So that will go to the 17th one, but if you want to do, yeah, I mean, you can go to it. Just go and
Oh,
click on just learn customization, just the, I mean, in the bread trail, or we can go back.
no. I don't know how I got all the way there, guys. Sorry. Oh,
Or
wow.
we can go to Method
I,
Center Caps. It's all good.
yeah, like what is happening?
Help.method.me.
Ugh,
There we
Help
go.
center, come on. There we go. I search this almost every day. I don't know why I decided to disappear today.
Go to
But I can go into
customization.
it, right?
Yeah, you can go in there.
Customization, and then I can go down. That's what I was trying to do,
To
but then
learn
I don't know
custom.
what
No
happened. There we
worries.
go.
There you go. And so there we have. And so you can see there's like starts at 0, 1, and then it goes through 20 of them. There are 20 videos trying to teach people basically how to build an app, and all the while also going over very difficult concepts that might be challenging for people when they're learning. Not so much difficult, sorry, very proprietary concepts that Method has. Like, so one thing I also do is that I do PS training after, when every professional service person that trains, I take them through, what is it, a 9-hour boot camp of them doing this exact same things. And I run into the exact same problems of things they don't understand. And it's not their fault. It's just that there are things that make Method work the way that it does. And they don't really understand the implications, for example, of the screen active record ID. Nobody ever understands what that is until I really drive it in. Okay, well, this is important. This is why, right? So I try to do that also through here for people who really want to learn how Method works. And so that's what this customization series is. So I don't know if anybody here isn't a customizer, but if it is something that people want to get started on, they can go through here, and it tries to teach it from the very beginning on how Method works.
Beautiful. Thank you, Errol. I will share this with you guys as well. My goal is to have the method learns that we explained, of course, on your end as well, so you're able to participate in these things. For now, what we have is that it's all on the Help Center. You can do it yourself if you choose to do so. But I think it is nice to kind of refresh your customization skills, especially for new partners and stuff like that that want to learn. I think this is great. And if you get stuck on any things like this, it's great if we can go through them, because these are the fundamental actual customization tips that you need to actual customize big things like we saw today with Yusuf. With that being said, I will link it in here and I'll put it in the email as well so you guys are able to check it out. Any questions on that? Victoria said, nice. David said, I'm a sucker for those types of trainings. I would love to go through it. So thank you so much, guys. Yes, absolutely. And we can make this better, bigger, all that kind of stuff if we have more feedback from you guys as well. Beauty. All right. I know we kind of already did Q&A as we were going. We have like 2 minutes before the call ends. But if you guys have any questions, please let us know.
Nice comment. I remember those method retreats, Paulette, with